Hey, aloha everyone. Michelle Melendez with blossominnerwellness.com and standtogetherhawaii.com. This is also on the Voice of Kona Radio, 100.5 FM. Mahalo so much if you're listening on the islands or online. If you're watching, please if you like this, if this show is calling to you and speaking some truth in your heart, please like, share, and subscribe. This channel is getting shadow banned, so any comments or likes or shares are greatly appreciated. So I do want to do, first let me tell you what the video is today. Super excited, bringing Desert Owl back. A lot of you are like, bring him back, he's amazing. So he is amazing. He's been studying ancient history for 52 years. And what we're going to be sharing with you guys today is symbolism. And I've been wanting to do a video on this, but I'm not that good at it. So I'm really excited because I know Desert knows exactly what it is that's going down here. This symbolism is going to show you the Rothschild coat of arms, the City of London coat of arms, and we're going to break down the dollar. So have you ever wondered about what that pyramid on the dollar is and what those words really mean and different symbols that are on the dollar? Well, you're going to learn about them in this video. Before we do that, I do want to shout out to my sponsor because I do this on my own time. I'm super grateful for aceofcoins.com. If you want to learn about how to lower or eliminate your taxes lawfully, if you want to learn about how to license your biometric data, which your face, your image is being used by big tech for a profit on their side. If you want to learn how to license your image, if you want to learn how to buy Bitcoin tax-free, then you're going to want to visit aceofcoins.com, ACEOFCOINS.com, and let them know Michelle sent you. Okay, the last thing I do want to share is that I am going to be putting on another detox. There's a lot of chemtrails. We see a lot of things in the sky where the air, the water, everything is bombarding our health. And I do detoxes, run detoxes about 2 or 3 times a year. So please keep an eye out for that. I will share more information at a later video. But Desert, thank you so much for joining me. I'm super excited about this video. Mahalo.
Absolutely. Same here.
All right.
It's rare to get a chance to talk anymore. For some reason, it seems like that big wheel is getting tighter all the time. And there's just few people that are really able to say it like it is now. Most of it's they've always controlled both sides. So the narrative on what's supposedly the independent media side is propaganda mixed with truth, always mixed with
Mhm.
truth, but then they get you to buy the lie. And that's how they do it. Hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. Mixed with truth. I am going to be doing a video on the elections as well because people need to understand. They're like, Michelle, who are you voting for? And I'm not voting for either because it's all a corporation. So I'm going to be doing a video on that later. But Desert, this video is on symbolism. So can you please share? I'd love for you to share your first story with the mountain and the story you just shared right before we got on the video, and then we can also we can go from there. So this is what mountain is this?
This is Mount Whitney in Central California in the Sierra Mountains. This is the tallest peak in the contiguous 48 states, 14,500 feet. And I was living in San Diego at the time, and me and my construction buddies, I was a home builder, carpenter. We all went up to Yosemite, and on the way back, we all stopped here at Mount Whitney and climbed up to maybe 8,000 feet, no, about 10,000 feet, because we're tough guys when you're young, you got a lot of stamina. We just went for the mountain. Then it started getting late. We said, well, we better get down. Let's, before it gets too dark. And so we came off the mountain. And then, I was pursuing my own spirituality within San Diego, and then realized that, I just needed to grab for something really unique in my ability to come to the next level spiritually. And I remembered me and my buddies going to the tallest peak right there in Central California, and I said, I think I want to do this. And so I went on a 3-day pilgrimage. And in the hippie days, I used to hitchhike across America back and forth. But this time I said, I'm not going to hitchhike. I'm going to just walk. If someone offers me a ride, I'll take it. I'm not taking any money. And if they offer me food, I'll buy it. I just had a down vest and my Bible, which is my pillow on the side of the highway when I was sleeping on the side of the road. And so anyway, this is where I was headed. And then I made it up to the 8,000 base camp level, and that night climbed it from there to the next day. Was the next day up to 11,000 feet. Was so cold, it was like wanting to jump in somebody's tent, how to make a campfire. But anyway, the next day I got to the top, and there it was. I could see Yosemite actually from there, from that top ridge, that peak. I don't know if you see my pointer when I'm pointing.
I
Is that
do. Yes,
okay?
yes, yes.
Yeah, from that peak, 14,500 feet, and you look to the west, which is on the other side, because this is facing the sunrise right now. But on the other side is the west to the Pacific, and it's amazing view looking down from there, and but so no lightning struck. I didn't have any miraculous vision, that I was naively hoping for, thinking that that um was would be cool, but so I started off the mountain in a little bit of a disappointment, because I didn't have a supernatural experience while I was up there, and I had to get down before dark, because it would be too dangerous up there in that cold weather. And so but that week, things opened up to me in a big way, spiritually, and also with words. Words is my big thing that I'm really into, with the analysis and the proving out of the corruption of our modern forms of English, and also what's really called Pig Latin. That's really what we're speaking today in modern day English, engineered by the Jesuit Curii out of the Vatican. So now the rest is history, and it's actually forbidden history that we talk about here. So, okay.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for that. And that's quite a journey in itself, that you left without any money and never asked for a ride, and and you made it to your destination. That right there for me would be a spiritual experience, is like just trusting that you're going to be taken care of. And that's what I've done most of my life as well, is just trusting in that inner guidance. So
Mhm.
I love it. So let's start with, well, I'm just going to give it to you. What do you want to start with on this topic of symbolism?
Um, and we're still sharing screen, is that
Yep,
correct?
you
Okay.
still got your screen up.
And I'm trying to figure out if I just close that out, right, with an
Yep,
X, because that's
yep,
one graphic. Okay.
you got it.
And
Now
then
we can see your desktop.
right, and you wanted to do the City of London, I think, first, right, as
City of
an
London,
idea?
whichever, your call,
Uh-huh.
your call. You're
All
the
right.
one who's the
All right.
master here.
Well, that's good. That's good. Well, we can start. Well, all right. Well, I had created this with Ninja, my engineer in Sydney, for my programming, and the Rothschild um, banking. The thing is, they have so many layers to the onion. And so, like, to give an example, people, when they think they woke up, they talk about the Bilderbergs, think the people running the world are a bunch of corporate people that are just so smart they could take over the world. And then those who go a little further, they figure out, well, no, it's the Queen of England. The Queen is running the world, and she owns all this property, but yet the Queen bows down to the Lord Mayor of the City of London. So if the Queen is bowing down, that's telling you that they're sovereign. And the fact that the banking took over with when Napoleon lost the war at Waterloo, and it's all a shell game, between lower players, because to the unseen hand, it don't matter, who's running the show in any particular island anywhere, because he owns it all. The unseen hand that's running the world owns all, but they'd like to see us play it out and see who's going to come to the top dog position period. So the point is that whether you're the royal families or you're the banking families that are calling themselves Jews, it's all one family. They're just different divisions. Some people are carpenters, some people are plumbers, some people are electricians. So you got royal families, you got banking families, then you got religion. You see, and
And
they're
I
all
want
tied
to
together.
I want to show what are the colors, everybody? Red and blue. And
Mm-hmm.
what's going on in the election right now? Red and blue.
Okay.
And that's just wanted to throw that in there. Go ahead, Desert.
Okay. So anyway, the point is that when you look in the Catholic Encyclopedia, it says that the Rothschild are the defenders, protectors, and defenders of the Vatican Trust. Okay. So to see past the layers of the onion, it was the hardest thing for me to get the connection between the Vatican and these people behind this shield, this red shield, because they are one. And the biggest tip off is, of course, the moon cap. When you see the Pope or the cardinals all wearing that little moon cap, well, that's what the Jews wear. They're telling you who they are, but nobody clicks with it, and it was a long time for me to finally come altogether. What started was when the head of the ADL went to see the Pope and he kissed his ring. And then all of a sudden, bingo, what's going on here? A Jew bowing down to a Catholic, right, Pope. And then see, that's how far we got to go down the trail to see these connections. They're all together. Go ahead. You were
Mhm.
going to jump in.
And because I was just going to say a moon cap is that little cap on their head? Is that what you're
Yarmulke.
talking?
They call it a
Yeah.
yarmulke. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. And so it's to hide the light. In other words, they're lunar. So they don't want the enlightenment that comes from the sun. So they're going to block it with an eclipse by putting it over their soul, over their head, you know. And so, okay, so that's that graphic. Ninja did a great job on that. And let me close out here. And then, so we go to the city of London now. Found
And I,
some good
I want to
graphics.
just let people know, please subscribe to my Rumble channel. That's in the description, because if for whatever reason this channel disappears, I know comments get disappeared, people get unsubscribed. So check your subscription. Please join my Rumble channel. That is in the description. That's where to find me. You can also subscribe to Stand Together Hawaii.com, standtogetherhawaii.com, and that is on email list, and you will get emails from me as well. So those are the two ways to find me if anything happens with this channel. Okay, Mahalo, go ahead, Desert.
Okay. So I hadn't, this is one of the graphics I didn't have, so I had to go looking for it today. And then I got on my device because I didn't know what dirge was meaning, in the Latin, and I looked it up, and now I can't keep it in my head. Here, let me go back down now. Minimize that. Okay, good deal. So what does dirge mean? A lamentation for the dead, right on their shield. Okay, and I hadn't seen that before. That's good that you compelled me to do this, because we just saw it now. So it's the dominant geez, I can't remember. I got to write this stuff down. Forgive me.
That's okay. You can also stop screen share if you want to look something up without us
No,
saying
I'm
it.
no, I'm just looking at trying to find the the way
But I
I'm
want to
doing.
show people as you do
Yeah.
that, that there was a cross that was upside down on the shield, on the coat of arms. That's the coat of arms, sorry, the coat of arms for the city of London.
Yeah.
And it is an upside down cross with a regular cross. And go ahead, Desert, if you're ready.
I'm writing it down. The
Okay, cool.
dead, lamentation
Yeah.
for the dead. Okay, so listen, I mean, come on, we were just talking about birth certificates, right? And it's how they killed you when you dead on arrival, because the word child
Well,
means
actually,
killed,
we
killed.
didn't record that part. So if do you want to tell people about that part? Because we actually talked about
Well,
that before the video started. So
yeah,
because I'm researching a lot about the birth certificate and what is the birth certificate roughly?
well, it's a Roman slave document, and so when a slave baby was born, they impress its feet upon ink, and then they impress the ink foot on both feet onto the back of a certificate of a live birth. But before its feet ever touch the ground, then it is a slave forever. And it first touched the birth certificate. That's what they done with many of us, not all of us, but most of us, I think, in their Knights Templar hospitalers, hospitals. And so here, and that's a security instrument. It's a slave document. Therefore, when they arrest you, then they create a bond, and it goes onto Wall Street and makes big money on some international market somewhere, and they buy them up in bulk.
Yes. So,
Yeah.
and if this is not about fear, you guys, this is about awakening, knowing what is happening, knowing what type of world we really, really live in, to take back, and I believe in my heart, this is to take back our power, and to understand that our power comes through the infinite source of the infinite intelligence that created us, and to trust that. So this video is about awakening and empowerment versus fear. You cannot have empowerment if you don't know what's going on. So I just wanted to share that. So go ahead. Let's talk. Yeah, go
Right.
ahead about the crosses.
We're
Go ahead.
slaves. We're slaves for our ignorance. And
Yeah.
that's the thing. When we're waking, that's why they don't like knowledge. That's why they took control of the schools.
Yeah.
Because yeah. When I found this today, I found two graphics, and so this one was first, and then I looked at Domine, Durge, Nos. And so Nos is Gnosis. So that means knowledge. And
Mm-hmm.
so, and the Domine, we can see, is like dominion, and also judgment. So judgment is Dom, D-O-M. So dominion over the lamentation for the dead, or dominion over knowledge, depending upon what word you read first, dominant over the knowledge, and the lamentation for the dead. So that's rather telling, that they literally admit that they're killing us, just like, the Statue of Liberty. It really is the goddess of death, and then that's in Roman, doctrine. So we're still under Rome today. Rome never ceased occupation and power. It just morphed itself from a political state into a religious state because it's easier to control people with the opium of religion.
So I do want to now that you brought up the Statue of Liberty, we're gonna have to go there because I knew the Statue of Liberty was up to something, but I didn't know what it was. It came to us from France. But before we do that, so let's finish off with the symbology of this coat of arms. Keep that up for me.
Well, I'm going to go to the second one
Okay.
because
Okay, great.
I think
It's
it's
better.
better. Yeah.
Okay, good. Because I do want to talk about the crosses and the dragons, and look at the dragon tails. All of it, every single part of this has a symbol. There's a reason why that shield is turning to the right.
Yeah. Those are bat wings. The bat is regarded as a serpent, so it's a play on a bat and a serpent. In other words, we could see with the wings on it that it could also be a phoenix. It's another version of
Oh,
another version. You
yeah.
see, and then but the red is the represents the Jews, and on some of the shields, not on this one because it's more like the Swiss cross, and it's all the same family. The sword upside down is symbolizing the upside down cross, meaning that they took control of the pure tradition that came out of Jerusalem with Yeshua and converted into an occultic tradition. So and those are crosses, basically the crosses on the wings of those serpent dragons.
hmm
Okay.
And the cross, because I remember you said the cross represents everywhere,
Yeah, one
all
word definition for cross. The first meaning is everywhere, because it's the four directions.
four
You see,
directions, correct?
yeah, the four directions, and that's the symbol. In other words, like I can show you. Let me, since it's good to help clarify this stuff. Let me go to. I kept my Word document open today for this presentation, and I think I can find this real quick. Come on.
So again, if you guys are minds being blown right now, good, because
Okay.
they have been lying to us
Yeah.
forever. These families have been in charge for thousands of years. This is not just, a couple hundred years here.
Yeah. So you see here, the first three letters of the alphabet is the AV. They come together and create the Star of David. So the V comes out of the A. And then but at the bottom of the A, if the A is a compass, an architect's compass, what does it make below it? A circle. So all these three letters are in one in the original, the origin. And so this is the symbol of the sun. And
So
so
where is this from? Like so you said it's
this is
all
the
the
original
origin.
alphabet, the first three
Oh,
letters of
oh,
our Phoenician,
oh, okay.
what's called the Phoenician alphabet, but it's the Aramaic. It's the original Aramaic script. The capital letters on your driver's license is the original Sand script. Okay, the capital letters. And this is the best kept secret on earth, and it's right in our face.
hmm
And
hmm
so this is called, so they took the V out and changed it to a B in the modern, because they don't want us getting these pictures. That's a sound wave. The V is a sound wave, right? And meaning like this. Let me, oh, that's a solid graphic. I can't do it there. Like this. No, I can't do it there. Anyway, you get the idea. It's a wave up and down, up and down. If you put the V's together, right? You get the sound wave.
Oh, are you talking about like this? Like a wave?
Yeah, let me do it here. Let me do it here. Okay, hold on. Where's the V?
So you guys might want to, I'm gonna watch this again
You
myself.
see? You see the sound
Oh,
waves?
oh wow, yeah,
You
yeah.
see? Yeah, so that's creation. It begins with sound. Let there be. He says, let there be, and it is, right? It's a
hmm
command. It's the wave. Okay, now I'm gonna go Control Z. Okay, back to that. So this symbol, the third symbol, they changed in Roman time to the G, which the Masons still wear on their ring, but that's a man-made letter. It's not real. It's a remnant. You see how it's got the part of that
Yeah.
cross in the middle there?
Mhm.
and it's a part circle. So you could see it's the same letter. And then in the modern, they go to the C. So this is the game that's been played on us to take us away from our root, our core of our being. And so this is called the Zoro, Tzoro. And so which is synonymous with zero, right? And so the cross, meaning everywhere, this is the story of Eden, because everyone's looking for Eden on earth, but it's the sun, it's the atom. They changed the word atom to Eden, so we never get the picture, but it's the atom, because all of creation comes out of the light, out of the sun, the earth, the moon, Venus, Mercury. These planets are children of the sun. They came out from that gaseous orb and took circle around it to maintain nourishment by the mother star. So this is the four directions. You see, the light came into four directions. And if you read Philo will tell you he was a buddy of Yeshua. He wrote the great book, Big as Josephus's, the works of Philo. And in there he says that the four rivers, the Tigris, Euphrates, and, the other four rivers are symbolic. They're not literal. And so people on earth are trying to, you know, look for Eden on earth, but it's not, it's above. There's two gardens, one above, one below. So anyway, just wanted to point that out. And
And
so back,
you also have the different symbols of we'll keep going with this one, but I just saw China and also
oh, well, yeah, those symbols, let me tell you the importance of that. I meant to actually, that would be good while we're there. Where, yeah, word.
so this is a lot of information, you
Yeah.
guys. Again, please join standtogetherhawaii.com or my Rumble channel, just in case I go bye-bye here on this
Right.
platform, which I hope I don't, but go ahead.
Well, the thing is, see, the reason, because the people that are occultists, they read the symbol. We don't. We look
Yeah,
at it. Oh, isn't that a pretty flag? Yeah, sure. I don't know what it means. I'm too stupid for that. But let's look at them, because these four flags. Well, you see, here's 1933, when Hitler's coming into his heyday. They put the Philfot on there, which is a symbol of the sun, and it is it's imagine that this is spinning. It's a fan, but it's three-dimensional. So it's the light particles. It represents the light particles coming from the sun going to the earth. The light particles spinning out. You see, so it's a fan, and so it's a still shot, but it's representing something that is action, and it's moving, it's spinning,
yeah, I have
and
a question about that real quick
yeah.
because that used to be on Buddhism, wasn't it? Used to be
Well,
but
yeah,
it's
it's the most
turned.
ancient
It's
symbol because it
yeah,
represents
because
the light, and the ancients knew that all creation came from the light. And so what's interesting now is, of course, is all red behind it, because behind Hitler was the Jewish Vatican Front. And so who were the two opposing forces against the world, right? It was in the West, it was Hitler. In the East, it was Japan. And what does Japan have? A rising sun.
that's
Both of the
right. Me
two
too.
dominant, going to kick our butt around the world, are both sun symbols. See the
Mhm.
power of the sun. That's what they got, because that's what the occultic want to implore when they're saying, like the Simpsons. What I say, is a code they call, because they predict how they're going to kill people in the Simpsons, right?
Mhm.
But Simpson is a corruption of the word Samson, and Samson mean, so they're claiming to be the strong man running the world, right? And so, but what does Samson mean? It means son of the sun, son of the sun, Samson. And so,
Something.
so now India, you'll keep hearing me tell that behind it all, the unseen hand is the Hinduism and Brahmanism. Hinduism is a front for Brahmanism. Brahman is the original word for sovereign. It's a corruption. It's the Avram. It's the star ram. And so, what do you got at the top of the flag? You got the sun symbol, the orange. That represents the 33 degrees of Freemasonry. And then in the middle, you got the white of the light, and a symbol of a flower, which represents the sun. And below it is the creation that comes forth from the orange light above, down below. You see, so it's
That's right.
claiming creation, claiming. And so after the war, when the swastika is now persona non grata for all that it represented with the evil that they used it for, when it was really a symbol of peace and love and enlightenment and all good
That's right.
things for creation, then they had to create a new flag for Germany. And so what do we get? another rising sun. You see it? Because at the top is the darkness, in the intermediary is the rising sun. It's a red sun before it goes up real high, right? It's the ball. And
Yeah,
then
that's right.
below it is the bright light. So there's a sun symbol. All four of those are sun symbols.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you for that.
Yeah. And so this is why reading symbolism is so important, because it goes back to heraldry, right? And when a certain royal family would come into the castle, they would announce them, and the herald would read their colors and symbols and announce who they were by reading their colors and symbols. You see, that's how you know who they are. And we don't know who these people are that are telling us what to do, what to think, where to go, and when, you
Mm-hmm.
know?
Yep.
So back to this, are we done here or
Nope.
no?
Do the talk about the helmet? Do you know about, and also the tails of the dragons?
Well, the tail's sort of like a sea serpent. So I think there's what we could call these creatures are chimera, because they're representing more than one creature. It's a chimera, and so the dragon is representing the serpent, and then what is in the ocean is a serpent as well, and then the bat wings. So all of that.
And the
The
tongues
helmet, huh?
are the devil. The tongues are also like arrows or
Yeah, they
something.
are.
Mhm.
That's a good point. Yeah, the sting of death in the word, right? How they kill us with words by
Mhm.
controlling our words outside the Vatican. And the helmet, well, you know, I really, other than the word hell, typically with words that have an H, just like we hear the story about how Abraham came out of Haran in Mesopotamia and he goes into the promised land, he comes out of Haran. It's not Haran, it's Charan. It's Quran, and they took the KH away from the front and put and just left the H. But Quran means the light, the projections of light. He came out from the sun when he came into the promised land. Down, and so this is all the tricks that they play on us. They talk about Gnostics like the Nag Hammadi library. They say that the followers of the sacred Yeshua and the great father Yahweh were Gnostics, but yet in the entire collection, nowhere do they ever refer to themselves as Gnostics. They would be what we would call Christians, but on the highest level. And so the question would be, who are the ones who really claim to be the Gnostics? And it says it right here: Nos, Gnostis, Gnosis, knowledge. They're the Gnostics, the ones who are running the world. Obviously, they know all of this stuff, what it means. We know nothing what it means.
And
Okay.
the bat, there's one bat wing at the top of the helmet. What does that
Oh
symbol?
yeah. Yeah. Well, probably saying you're bats too. The people they're all Batman. I've got in one of my dictionaries, you've got it coming, but it may not be there till the end of you got one you'll get on Monday, the Cursed Word Dictionary, but there's another one you'll be getting. And but you do have Batman in the one you're getting on Monday. Batman, this is where we get the idea of Batman from. It goes all the way back to uh, India and the caravans. And when the caravans would come back, they would have the Batman take control of the caravan, because in the caravan were many secrets, and they don't want to let out the secrets that they found around the world. So the Batman is the first police officer. He's got the bat. He's going to hit you with it if you get too close to him. And so then I discovered that there in my Wiles dictionary from 1933 out of England, there's also bat money. And so the Batman was getting paid bat money for doing his job. You do your job, you get paid. So business is good, right? Yeah, I'll be glad to be a Batman. I don't mind hitting people over the head. So that's where it all started. You never
So
you
that's
never
a
heard
very
that one
different.
before, I bet, right?
I have never heard that one before, and also that's really a play on words with Batman,
Oh yeah.
bat, and in your hand versus Batman.
Yeah, so I've got like five
Um,
different things with bats that I define, showing you that's what they're telling you in the movie. So he
mhm.
looks like a serpent, right?
Yeah,
Batman
he
can
does.
fly through the air,
Mhm.
you know, and they call themselves Superman. Then when you look at Superman, like Capus Capius, it means the power to take. He's got a red cape, by the way. The
Mhm.
Jews have the power to take, and they take everything from us after they loaned it to us, right?
And Superman is in blue and red.
Uh-huh, sure.
Everything is in blue and red, you guys. This is not This is not, this is by design.
Yeah. Are they coming for me or are they coming for you?
Yeah.
They're coming for
So
all of us.
they're coming for all of us. But I just want to remind everybody, this is about knowledge. It's not about fear. Don't be afraid with this information. Be excited about learning this information. Because, and this, oh, geez, this is exactly the one I wanted to go to. I'm going to be right back, but I'm going to give it over to you. And the last thing, actually, I'm going to just pause this for a second. All right, you guys. So again, this is not about fear. This is about empowerment and trusting in that higher power. Go for it, Desert.
Okay. What's the acronym for fear? Uh,
Oh yeah, I know that one. False evidence appearing real.
Yeah, false evidence
False.
appearing real, right?
Yeah.
And so they got us, afraid of war. They've got the war drums going. They want us afraid.
They do.
And now they're talking about drafting people. Nobody should support war. It's the most fundamental basics. You're going to go like, now today we're friends with Russian people, but half a century ago they made them out to be our enemy. And who's making them out to be our enemy anyway?
Exactly.
Yeah,
And also the thing with people is we love each other. This is why they got away with the COV and then the VID was because people love each other. People are, in my view and how I see
yeah,
people, are normally mostly kind. So
yeah.
so
And
yeah,
there,
this war is not in our nature. It's programmed into us.
Yeah, and there's no hatred of any sort in a presentation like this. I don't hate the people that have uh been a negative influence on my life. It's the nature of this world, and so but the only thing that will fix it is love. And so therefore we all want to retaliate because by emotion and our physical nature when we're oppressed. But to be at peace is the great mystery, and to not be affected by the things around you, be able to accept the things that are beyond your control, and then to deal with it and look for a bright sunrise tomorrow. It's all there.
Yes, and
Uh,
here's the last thing I want to share about with on that note is they want us to be high intensity. They want us to be emotional. And I've struggled with this a lot because I can get really intense. But where our journey is the middle ground, is the peaceful ground, not to be too intense, not to be too too happy, too angry. It's right in that middle peaceful ground, and that is where our power is. That's where we get power. This is why they keep showing us all the stuff on the news. They want us to be upset. They want to get a rise out of us. So let's practice
yeah,
that middle ground. So go for it.
right. And just
Desert.
before I give the symbolism here, I actually today uh, I guess it was last night, was watching a something, and they had a quote in there, and I thought it was a pretty good one. Walk, because we hear about Yeshua, his most miraculous event could be construed as him walking on water. That when he came out in rough seas and he's walking on water, and so here the walking on water is symbolic of walking above the cosmic sea of deception. See, that's what it represents. It's coming above this world. It's a lower world, and we are from above, and so we have to see those things. And so you're no longer in the murky depths where you're in darkness. We come into the light. We come out of that old world below into a newer world above. So these are important aspects of symbolism, just like the crown of thorns represents the mental anguish that many of us will go through at times, and we don't even think we can handle it anymore, and we want to take our life. But the thing about the crown of thorns is every year it bears a sweet red fruit. And so it's telling us, if you could just hang in there, what was once a crown of thorns upon your head will turn into the sweetest red fruit you ever wanted to eat. So you have to just like the sun rises every day, that your redeemer comes. He's there for you, but you gotta trust. That's the biggest, the most difficult thing in when you don't have vision, when you can't
Yeah.
be relative to what's all around you and connected. So
Yeah.
mhm,
And I just want to say on that note, again, you guys, if you have not joined standtogetherhawaii.com, just go there, join the email list, because this is the work that this is exactly the journey that I help people take on. And I'm going to be sharing information in that email list. So please join standtogetherhawaii.com. Okay.
all right. So this is the symbol on the back of the dollar bill on the right-hand side when you have it flipped towards you. And so on the left side is the pyramid. And so here we have the this symbol, and you know they convinced us that this is our symbol, and but it's not. It's the banker symbol, you see. And if we started at the top, that symbol, you can see a Star of David in there, and
Hmm.
by connecting the little stars that are in there. And so you got the V and the A alpha in there, but yet the sun is on the other side above the pyramid with the all-seeing eye in it. That represents the sun. And so the Star of David does represent the sun, but here it's not visible, and therefore it's occulted, and therefore it is an eclipse. And this is the moon symbol eclipsing the light. So they put their Luciferian.
Can you use your cursor and kind of let people know a little bit about more? Okay, so
You,
there's the Star of
you mean
David.
you mean I have to curse in order to do this? Is that what you
No,
said? Come on. See, that's
the
how they do it to
mouse.
us, right?
Oh,
They
that's
made that.
right. And spelling. I mean, there's a whole thing, you guys.
Yeah,
We could
put you
go in
under the
for, we could be
spell.
here for days, but here we go. Let's focus on one thing at a time. This is
All
intense.
right. All righty. So here's your symbol. So it is a star, but nobody almost doesn't see it. It's
Hmm.
invisible to most
That's right.
people unless you're focused on it. And so this is the the cloud, of the lesser light. And so it's a moon symbol. So they're Luciferian. The moon is the Lucifer, and it's a symbol. It's a corporation. That's all. It's not a real entity that flies around the world, doing damage. It's a corporation, a body. Corporate means body, and so e pluribus unum, many under one, and so the question is the many in what regard? If this is Switzerland, yeah, and so the shield, is you'll see all variety of shields, but the shield is one. They're all different, so you never really get the picture. But the shield is one. It's the rough shield. It's the red
Yep.
shield. Red, white, and blue are the colors of the royal families. Red, white, and blue. And I'm about to come out with part two in a few days with my other slide presentation on symbols. And when you see one after another, you really get the picture. In the this is an eagle. They claim to be an eagle because an eagle, it's really a bird of war. We like it because it's a beautiful creature, but it's a bird of war, and it flies higher. It's a bird of prey also, and it flies higher, and therefore it can see farther than any other bird as well. That's why they talk about eagle eye. You got an eagle eye because he's flying higher. And so in the positive sense, we all want to be eagles because we want to fly higher. We want to be able to see farther than we've ever seen before. So it has a double meaning. It's not evil by itself, but the occultic use it for themselves. I think some people have counted the tail feathers. Probably got 13 of them there. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, 9 of them. And I know there's symbolic meaning behind the 9. There's 13
Yeah.
stripes. And this is what steers. So this may be the committee of 9 or something like that. I've heard about it. There's so much stuff to study, and I don't, absorb everything. But so this is the steering, though. So there's 9, and it rings a bell towards that. But then they in one talon they got the symbol of peace, the olive branch, and then the other one they've got the symbols of war, the arrows. So they're waging
And I think there's
peace
a
with war.
13 arrows that I
13
counted.
probably are. Okay. Yeah, and probably
So
13 stars in them.
say that again, what you just said before I interrupted. Make.
Well, that through peace, it's like, which one is it? Do they make peace through war, or do they make war through peace? It's a cycle. It's perpetual war. The Bauer, they claim the Rothschilds was Bauer, but it's not. Bauer is there's even a movie about it, that the Bauer family become the 5 sons go across Europe, and they have banking, but that's only a child's tale. Just like Betsy Ross did not make the flag,
Yeah.
because it's a slavery flag. But so Bauer literally means the vow war. Remember, there's no B, it's a V, the second letter of the alphabet. Vow war, and it's a vow for perpetual war. So they have agreed thousands of years ago when they were Assyrians and before they were the Assyrians, that they would serve the ancient Aryan Brahmin and wage war on mankind, keep them under control, and they bring one civilization up and then they take down another one. That they created Greece for its day, took down Persia. They took down Greece, they bring up Rome. And this is the way the shell game works. And we think that it's some other entity, but it's not. It's one order. It's an occultic order of super elite that run the world perpetually through time. And that's what we have to, make those connections. It's significant.
Wow.
Okay, is that good? Anything?
That's amazing. That's amazing. So you guys, just a reminder, this is a really heavy, deep stuff. This is not about fear. This is about awakening. Now, when I first learned all of this, when I first was awake, I watched Zeitgeist, and it was a 3-hour movie, and I cried like a baby because I died. Somebody died, and it was me, because I died to what I thought the world was, what I thought the United States was, and what I thought the United States of America meant, and I couldn't get out of bed for 3 days. So if you're going, what in the world, you're not alone, and just keep breathing, and we just keep learning. We just keep learning. And then what are we constantly saying? Trust that higher power. There's a reason why you found this channel. Please like, subscribe, and if you please join my Rumble channel and standtogetherhawaii.com. Okay, go for it, Desert.
Okay, so we'll go to the dollars. And that symbol here, I don't know if it's maybe I should have done the other one first. Let me I'll do the other one first.
Yeah.
Hold on. Got that. Okay. So this is on the Treasury seal on the right of the front side of the dollar bill. And so
can you make it a little bigger?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And I when I looked at this, when I started doing public meetings and hanging out with truth seekers and my friends studying the law and all that, then I look at the dollar bill and immediately I could read it because I already read symbolism prior to becoming political activist and studying my scriptures and everything and studying symbols. I knew immediately the chevron. So the chevron is the offset, and the offset angle is pointing up. And so I knew that it's telling you to read up from the bottom. And so here's the key. And so the Treasury, as we know, the Treasury really means nothing because Federal Reserve runs the show. And so they make it look like it's the government because they say the printing press is in the Treasury. So the Treasury is printing money for the Federal Reserve as if they're working together, but it's all one show. It's all the banker's show. And so
the Federal Reserve is actually a corporation. The IRS is a foreign corporation.
Oh yeah.
Just so people know this. Keep going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the FBI is their agency, an unregistered foreign agent, here in America, and the BATF, of course, are the Batman that are going to come collect if you don't pay the extortion fee, and they keep a dossier on everybody. So go look at it critically and realize that is the government. They're the ones who are beating you up all the time. The congressmen are just there as clowns, right? Bring in the clowns.
They are.
So yeah. So here we got key to offset balance. You see, that's what it is. By controlling the money, by bringing in the Federal Reserve, the bankers created America. The Rothschild family created America as the Illuminati front. But so here's the shield. There's the banking shield. It's their shield.
The Rothschild shield. The Rothschilds were the first bankers, you guys. That was thousands of years ago.
Yeah. So that's the deal. And so we'll go to the main part here. And I got to move your graphic out of the way. Can I move that?
Now, is there what is the 1789? What was that year about? Because I know we became America supposedly in 1776. 17. Do you know? I can't remember.
1789. Well, it may have to do with the official founding of the Treasury. I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah.
So I put these up back to back like this when we were doing our slide. And so what we have here is the Treasury Shield reads from bottom up, and it says key to offset balance. So we did that. And then on the Jewish fiat currency, we have King George III. This is I have another video up on Odyssey on Forbidden History Archive on Odyssey. You'll see my slide presentation proven out, and I've got more graphics now. I got more proof. And the best proof actually came out of Mount Vernon, of all places, proving that King George Washington is really King George III. So they're
And
telling us.
I'm going to
Go
leave
ahead.
that link for his channel in the description for those of you who want to check it out.
Very good, thank you. And so King George is number one, and then so we have here in God we trust. But who is this God anyway? And it really gets back to the star Sirius. The star Sirius is known as the dog star, and so dog is God backwards. So they're just playing a game on us because God is dog, and the dogs are the priests that do the bidding of their sovereign. So the priests are the dogs; they're the dogs of war. And so in God we see what they're really always after, and it's the gold. Put the secret vowel. L is actually a secret vowel. Say L, L, L. There's no restriction. H is also a secret vowel, and also R in the code. Well, we can talk about in the future. So I'll do a presentation on that. But Masonic banking seals are what we have here. This is Jewish. Masonic is Jewish, and they just bring everybody else in, and they think it's a good club. Left seal, the sun, eye, two pyramids. So there's not one pyramid here. There's two. You see, and
Yeah.
that's the illusion that people say, oh, there's a pyramid. No, there's two. So you got in the top the real sovereign running the world, and that's an exclusive club, and not even the Masons, the lower Masons are in it, unless you're 32nd, 33 degree. Then you're just bricks in the building blocks of this pyramid, but you're not one of them. In fact, I remember reading my copy of the Protocols of the Learned Elders of Zion back 30 years ago, and it said that the Masons are going to be in the last rail car, you know? And so that's the ever flipping coin. You never know which way it's going to land. That's the double cross, because there's no honor among thieves. They hate all of them. The Jews, as we can see in a lot of what's coming out of pseudo Israel now, while they're beating up men, women, and children and decimating them, their quality is that unless you're, a Jew, you're goyim. And so they bring on all the goyim to become Masons in sixth, second, third degree, fourth degree, and they're lied to about all the symbolism within the lower degrees. They admit that they lied to them, and then they say, well, when they get to the higher degree, now we'll tell you the truth, son. But they
Hmm.
told them another lie. They never tell them the truth. They don't
And
tell
the
them that
Goyim,
they don't tell them that they're the Communist Party. Come on, let's just be honest. We're Freemasons and we're the Communist Party. But instead, they get them to think they're all secret founders of America. Yeah, Knights Templars and all this other sensational stuff, but they never get the knowledge about who they really are, themselves, or any way, shape, or form.
you said Goyim, so they actually, what is that word? What does that word mean? Because Jews actually say this. And this is not this is not about the Jewish people. The Jewish people they're just regular men and women like us. This is the elites who I don't even think they really are the Orthodox Jews. I just think that that's a front for them, because who wouldn't trust, in these Orthodox Jews? It's like these men in black, the last presentation we did, which if you haven't seen that one, I'm going to actually do a whole playlist for just the stuff I do with you, Desert, that goes into this deep stuff, so people can watch all of them at once. Because that last one we did was all of these men in black with every single president from George Bush Sr., who was the president of the CIA when JFK was murdered. And I'm just going to leave it at that. You guys can watch that video and see why I said that. But I just want to say that when we say Jews, we're not talking about regular Jews like they're just you and I people. We are talking about these elite global bankers.
Yeah, there's an
That
outer circle, inner circle, and there's
correct,
many good Jews. They don't want nothing to do with this stuff,
correct.
Yeah, yeah. In fact, Stephen Jacobson, my good buddy, who did the classic Mind Control in America, also on archive. He came out. His family were Jewish, and he just and he was in New York making big money, making commercials. He exposed them. He's a noble gentleman who's on his last leg right now, suffering today. Did that production, never made money at it, ended up impoverished, to make the all-time classic, Wake Up America and Mind Control in America. So anyway, so this is their currency. They killed Lincoln, they killed Kennedy, both of them, because they each started, Lincoln started printing the greenbacks, He said if we um, make the money, we could keep the money and all within our society. But instead, he didn't realize how the game was played. And John Wilkes Booth was Knights of the Golden Circle actor. And that's why he was so bold to jump down on the stage, because his ticket was out of there. They're running the show. So he goes spotlight right on the stage, not afraid to let everyone know who he is, who just killed the president. And he escapes while they put a patsy inside a barn and burn him alive so that they could say that they killed John Wilkes Booth, but he lives on forever
Mm.
and yeah. So, and Kennedy, the same thing. And they're gonna give notice to everybody else by killing him in broad daylight in a motorcade. I actually, for a short blip, Michelle, when I was in Texas, in between construction, I got a short-term job as a cab driver. And of all things, I picked up a guy one day going to the Veterans Hospital, a guy that was in the Kennedy administration, and actually
So,
he
but
was
before you go on, I just want to, because this channel is being censored very highly. So just watch what you say with the word.
okay.
Just kind of do a little stealth like, but keep going.
What are the letters? Give me a couple key letters.
Well,
What are they?
sometimes the CIA and then the JF, the thing.
Okay. Oh, I got
Yes,
you. Okay, so
watch that. Just watch that
all
stuff.
right. Well,
Go ahead.
yeah. Okay, so he they were all trying to print the money, to bring it back, because that's the foundation of your culture, is where's the energy flow from, right? And
Mhm.
so okay, so leave it at that. And then
Well, you can keep going. I just like anything about maybe not just talk about the assassination part. Whatever else you want to share, that'd
you
be
can,
fine.
every time I get close, you can cough, okay? And I'll
Okay.
try to pick up
Okay.
on that. All right, go like that.
There's no more freedom.
Well,
There's no more speech
yeah,
here in this
that's
country.
right. All slave management. All right, where are we going? So basically, I think we've got enough on
Wait
this.
a minute, your cab drive. Everybody's going to be upset with me now.
Oh,
They're going
that's
to
right.
say,
That's right.
Michelle,
Where
you
was I? I know where
never,
I am now.
the cab
I
drive, the cab ride, cab
That's right.
ride.
That's right. Pasadena, Texas. And so I get a call to, pick somebody up. And it turns out this guy I was giving a ride to the Veterans Hospital actually was in the Kennedy administration, and he was in charge of the motorcade. And to that day, when I picked him up, um, back in the right around 1990, let's say, he and then he told me his story that he was in charge of the motorcade for John, you know who, and that they had a bulletproof bubble that he wanted to put on the car, but they prevented him from putting it on the car, and he was regretting it till that day, that he could have stopped that assassination, of the great president that we had, the last real one. So
Hmm.
yeah, that's the story, that story behind the story on that.
Wow. So wait
Okay.
a minute before you close that out.
All right.
What are the words around the pyramids over there?
The
Novus
words around the
Oracle.
pyramid.
Mhm.
Yeah,
What do they
Novus
mean?
Ordo Seclorum, a new order, a new one world order. In other words, the way to interpret that, a new one world order. Uh-huh.
And Inuit corporatus.
Coitus, yeah, the different people. I've heard different explanations of that. I did not done the study in my. I got a dictionary in Latin from the early 1800s, but annuit means annual or cycle, and then coeptus, like cope. When you're a carpenter, you have a coping saw and you cut angles with the coping saw. So I think it means the divisions of time, the annual divisions of time. And there's the symbol of the sun with the all-seeing eye. Okay.
Okay.
All
Thank you
right.
for that.
You bet. Let me close that out. And see what we got left here. Oh, and don't forget, we've got to bring in the clowns. Can't forget them. They're the front. That's your Federal Reserve front. Don't look at the Federal Reserve. Look over here, guys. We're having a party. We've got balloons. Hey, can it get any better, huh? Yeah, sure.
That's true.
All right. And
Right.
then you like this symbol, and then we
Yep.
got if I don't know how much time we got left, but then the last one out of that folder will be the best because it
Okay.
really, yeah, boy, they're really telling it right in our face, and I get it. So here's the three city states. You want to read it? Give me a break a second, and I'll kick back.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
All right.
So this whole global elites, bankers elites is one. There's three parts of it. There's three city states, and the first one is the Vatican, which is the religion part of this order that is running the world. Basically, the city of London is the money and the financing, and then the Washington D.C. is the war, is the military, is the strong arm. And so what they want us to think that they're all against, that all of these countries, these different countries, and we're in war, we're fighting, but hey guys, they're all in on it. Everybody is part of it. Like you saw in the last video, Putin was also with these men in black, and the president of Ukraine, can't remember his name now, starts with a K or whatever it is.
Zelensky.
Zelensky, the K, okay. He used to be an actor. He used to be an actor, and he did so well that they hired him on to be the president. And there was actually a coup in 2014 in Ukraine. And I want to just change my wording here a little bit. And then I want to say after that is to put him in power. So this whole thing is a freaking sham, and all the money that's going to Ukraine is being, I just want to change my wording a little bit here, laundered, because what's happening in Ukraine with that money is it goes back to the contractors, the military industrial complex contractors get that money that's going to Ukraine. So everybody's going, oh, they're giving all this money to Ukraine. No, they're not. It's actually coming back as contracting money for the military industrial complex in the US. And I really hope that doesn't flag this video. So again, please subscribe to my Rumble channel, and hopefully this video will be all right. And go for it, Desert.
If they're contracting, it might mean they're having a baby, right? Could be.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Possibly.
All right. So anyway, I had to throw that in. Knights Templar, did you cover that? I don't
Nope.
know if you. Yeah, right.
Nope.
Top right, we got the Swiss flag, just showing again the red and the white combination here. It blended in real well. And the Swiss Guard are the the guard of the Vatican, of course. And so that shows. I mean, come on, Hitler didn't take down Switzerland. Come on. And it shows who's really behind it. Didn't take down Vatican, didn't take down Switzerland, and that's autonomy. And that's the Red Cross. Red Cross, will go on the German side. Red Cross will go on the French side. Red Cross will go on the British side. Red Cross will go on the Turkish side, but then it will be called the Red Crescent. You see, and so they got autonomy, means their secret agents can go on one side then to the other and whisper in their ear and say, by the way, and what's happening on the other side. So that's how the game is played. We're all stupid, we don't get it. That we're watching the movies but never getting the meaning of what's
But I don't want
behind
to
it.
say stupid, because we are programmed. We were born trusting our parents. We are born trusting our country. And and I love that you said game, because I always say this is a game we are playing. And our job is to see it for what it truly is. There's a lot of people that are just going to stay asleep because they don't want to know the truth. I have a family member who I love dearly, but she's like, Michelle, I just don't want it, because she can't take it. She can't take the truth. She's not strong enough to take the truth. And I get that. I get that. Some people are not strong enough to learn this stuff and understand what is really going on, and to take action when we can, when we are inspired in spirit. That's what inspired comes from, is in spirit, by the infinite intelligence that is creating our world and creating our bodies. But that's why if you are drawn to this, if you're still watching this, that's you, friend. That's you. It's just knowing this. You don't have to go out, and do something until you are inspired to do something. And maybe that's just join standtogetherhawaii.com email list, check on Desert's other videos, and maybe that's just it. Just learn a little bit more until you're inspired again in spirit, and you will be guided. So mahalo so much, Desert. Keep going. What's this?
Right. Inspired is spiraling up, hopefully. Okay. So we're in Mount Vernon. We're at George Washington's home. And I was really surprised when this thing popped up, because of course, first thing is you notice the 3 stars, and that's the 3 city states, which you just alluded to on that other graphic. But then at the bottom, if you look at the very bottom, you see it's engraved with the name George Washington. But now let's go back up to the top. And what do we see on top? We see a crown, a royal symbol. and
Mhm.
then below that the shield, and so there it is, the three city states represented on the banking shield. And so George Washington, as I pointed out, that in England, the the King of England, the Queen of England, or the prime ministers don't run or rule England. It's run by the Lloyds of London, Lords of London, City of
Mhm.
London bankers, Rothschild agents. And so, but yet there, but so when it says George Washington at the bottom, then it's at the bottom. George is at the bottom, but at the top is King George III. And they just switch out in other words, there's no photographs. There's only handmade paintings. There's no, why did they burn the library in Washington in 1812? Why did they burn the White House? Someone said when these things happened, was quoted, I don't remember who said it, but how can it be? Where was it ever in time that one would come over and conquer another's nation and burn their libraries, right? And the reason they
Mhm.
burned the libraries is because they had to hide the trail that I'm unfolding right now. I'm
Yep.
the only one I know of that has ever mentioned George Washington is actually King George III, and I can see it because I can read the symbolism, the subliminal messaging that's going on right in our face. So
Mhm.
red shield, Rothschild, 3 stars, city states, Vatican, all Vatican, and the king at the top is just looking good, looks like a king, smells like a king, but he's not. He's a puppet because he
He's
works
puppet.
for that shield, the Vatican shield. You know?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
That's why the exactly same thing with the president, you guys. What makes us think they're going to put a man in power to run the country for 4 years and then we get to elect somebody else? And what is this electoral college? You think they're actually putting in place people we can vote for, and they don't care who actually gets be president because one, he doesn't run the country, and two, it's the same side. Both sides are two wings on the same bird. It's this
Mhm.
it's a game. They are letting us think that we have power of voting, that our voice matters. But the thing is it's all we've been played from the beginning, and this is hard to hear because when I was, and I get choked up right now too because I'm like, what do you mean my vote doesn't matter? What do you mean? And it's like this is the truth that we have to become, and this is the strength that I'm talking about because a person who just wants to do their life and go and do the things, I just want to have food on the table and I want, just a regular life, doesn't want to know this. I don't want to know this because they don't want to know this because they're not strong enough to see the truth. But if you're watching this, take a deep breath, keep breathing because when I get stressed out, I shallow breathe in here. But this is why we are awakening right now. This is the truth of what is happening around the world. There is an infinite creator that is guiding each one of us to become awake right now. And in my belief, I believe that this infinite creator, that we can have peace on earth, and that I don't know how. That's why I keep saying I don't know how, but I was contacted by 3 truckers who, I love you guys if you're watching, has shared with me some new stuff about the birth certificate that has floored me yesterday, and I'm going to be doing a video on that later. But 3 truckers who are strong enough and brave enough to take a stand for freedom and actually get out of the system, and have been they've had judges step down, they've had prosecuting I believe it was prosecuting attorneys, other people step down because of the work that they're doing, these truckers, which I freaking love. That's our power, that's our kuleana, which is ours responsibility, what is ours to do. If you're called to do it, great. If you're not, don't. We do what we're inspired to do, and I just wanted to share that because this is a heavy information. When you're first looking at it, you're like, oh my gosh, we've been lied to deeply. And that's why the election whole process, I pray and I hope that we have some really great people that do get in here in on the Hawaii Islands, the mayor and things like that. They do have some power, but the majority of the power that runs the entire country, the president doesn't. He I just want to change my words a little bit. He doesn't run the country, you guys.
He can't
And
tie his shoes. Let's face it.
he can't. No, no. Oh, especially the one currently. But even if the Trump gets in, he wouldn't be running it either. They're all part of the same club. And it's hard to believe. It's hard to believe because we want a savior. We want somebody to save us, but nobody's coming. We are the white hats, you guys. This is I used to believe in Trump. I used to believe in the white hats. And then every single date would go and come and nothing they said would happen happened. And then Trump talked about the thing that's in the thing and also the remdesivir. And that's when I stepped back and I was like, wait a minute here. And that's when I started looking deeper. And so that's what I want to say about that. But anything else you want to share around this desert?
Yeah, there is, but
Go
what
for it.
comes to mind about, because you were talking about Trump, and right after he took his oath of office on the Bible, then they go to have a dinner inside the Capitol, wherever they had dinner. I don't know, it was in, and sitting in the crowd is Hillary Clinton, right, with her pretend husband, and after he had made statements like, she said at that one debate, "Oh, I'm glad you don't make the law," and he said, "Well, you're lucky I don't, because you'd be in jail right now."
I
Right.
remember that.
And he kept saying they're gonna, drain the swamp. Right. Then right after he takes his oath of office, and they go have their first dinner, and right there at one of the tables is Hillary Clinton, and he says, "And by the way, I want to toast the Clintons over there for being great people and yada yada." And so, right out the gate, he just told everybody, "I lied. I lied. It was a show, you know, and that we're on one team, and the people are another team, and they're not in our group. That we're here carrying the ball, keeping commerce flowing as long as possible, keeping the illusion alive, so that in the end we only needed your labor. That's why we backed it with the birth certificate. Well, that's what monetizes the birth certificate, is the labor. We're done with your labor now. We got all the underground bases we need. We got all of our super technology made. We now have machines that can make machines, so we don't need you, slave, anymore. And that's why we're now doing the weeding process and getting rid of as many people as we can as soon as possible, because there won't be any food left anyway. So anyway, all right.
So again, I want to just say this is not about fear. You do need to grow your own food. You do need to create relationships with farmers. That's absolute necessity right now, okay? And also creating a stronger relationship with the higher power, your infinite creator. That's really, really crucial. Clean up your relationships with your family and friends, because the negative frequency of stress and of not liking people and of I'm right, you're wrong, that frequency is a lower frequency. We want to go toward love, because that is more powerful than any of this. And creating that infinite relationship with the infinite creator is part of that. So we want to be prepared, which is know your neighbors, start growing food, staples, potatoes and things like that, because they are destroying our food, and that is just a fact. If you don't see it right now with especially the fires in Texas, you got to see it. So that's what I wanted to share. And if you are in cities, I would highly recommend that you find a way out. And I don't mean to say find a way, that you ask the infinite creator to show you the easiest way to move out of the city. That is my highest recommendation. When we create a relationship with the higher power, I'm always going, okay, universe, what do I do next? What do you want me to do next? And I just trust. And I get an inspiration, or somebody contacts me. And that's the relationship I'm talking about. So if you are in the cities, get get that higher power, ask the universe how you can easily move out to a safe place where you are always taken care of, because we truly are always taken care of. So desert, keep it going. I'm
Okay.
gonna run really quick, but you keep talking about this and anything else you want to share, and I'll be right back.
Well, yeah, okay, go ahead. And since Michelle has walked away, I'll save the presentation for the moment and just mention to people that you can find the programming that I do with Ninja Cat down in Australia and Sydney. She produces for me on a YouTube channel called Ask Desert Owl with Ninja Cat. That's you can just search Ask Desert Owl, and you'll find the channel that way. But it's tagged with Ninja Cat, and there's a little cat in the logo. That's her channel, and she's been producing for me that channel for about I don't know, a few years now. And then I have my channel where we're on YouTube, where I park a lot of stuff that is interesting. It's called Forbidden History Archive, and Forbidden History Archive is also on Odyssey, and Forbidden History Live is also on Odyssey. And in a couple days here, I'll be doing Monday through Friday on Forbidden History Live at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Okay, so you can join us there. And we're going to take calls at the same time, call-ins. Okay, so that's a way we can do a follow-up. And yeah, I didn't want to give out the explanation here without you, Michelle.
Oh,
Okay, so
okay, yeah.
we see you're back. Okay.
Yes, and also I'll leave the link in the description for that so that you were talking about Q&A.
No,
Oh,
I was talking.
sorry.
Oh, yeah, Q&A question. I thought you meant QAnon. No,
Oh,
Q&A.
no, no.
You're right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
So
cool.
I have that one defined in the dictionary too. You're just gonna have to get the copy. All right.
Oh, yeah,
So
we should do that one too. All right. Okay, go ahead.
okay.
Anything
So
else?
bottom left, we see Mount Vernon, and I defined the word Vernon, showing how they're using the code. Not only are they in what's supposed to be George Washington's home, telling us that it's really King George's house. Because, by the way, there is one more picture, and I'll just go to it real quick, and then I'll pop back on this one. So where is it? Okay, see right here. Look, this is Mount Vernon. Okay, same guy. And look what we got. Whoa, in Mount Vernon, where George Washington would be the theoretical enemy of King George III for being a tyrant, right? Who do we have here displayed? King George. King George III. Let me blow it up a little higher, huh? Look at that. Look at that. And so we got orange. Remember I said orange is the symbol of power.
On
It's the
power.
33 degree. And so we got King George wearing orange, King George III, and then the color in the background, and then the globe, even a globe, orange. This is who runs the world is the orange, you see, and that's India. That's the Hinduism behind it. And so, it, you know, it's I couldn't have made this stuff up. You know, it's like right in our face. And so
Yeah.
here, to show again the orange in that aspect, well, so I looked at Vernon and I said, there's got to be a code here. And I so Vernon, okay. And so ver is a form of vor, and it's all type. In other words, the key of an anagram is you can change the vowels and get the meanings. Well, vor is the correct born, VORN is really, in other words, the word born, if it would be VORN, not the B. Remember I said the second letter is the
That
V.
that was the difference in the alphabet. They
Yeah,
changed the V to a
right.
B.
So born is vorn. And so when I put vornoon, I should have put vornoon because it's there, but I just didn't think about it quick enough. But I have the basic element of the word. It's vornoon. And vornoon means born of high noon. Born. And remember, so what's at high noon? The sun. I'm born of the sun. Like I said, Simpsons is Samson, right? Sons of the sun. And that the other was the flags, those four flags all put together: Germany, Japan, India, the sun. They're born of the sun, and that's telling you this is the apex, the center or apex at high noon, meaning it's their creation, it's their illusion that they put us under. You see, thinking one thing when it's another thing, because we don't know better. We weren't there.
Mm,
We bought everything they told us in school to be true, correct, and complete when it was all a big lie. I
mm.
mean, wow, you can't make it up, huh?
Can't make it up.
All right,
Yeah.
so good there. And
Awesome. All right. Well,
where
go
we,
ahead and stop screen share. And that's it, you guys, for this show and for this episode. Please like, subscribe, share, and get on my YouTube channel. I'm sorry, get on my Rumble channel because I'm just going to put a white light around this video. So the AI algorithms do a number to this channel. So and then the last thing again, standtogetherhavaii.com, and I will leave Desert's links to his Odyssey channel in the link. He's got some really great videos there as well. And I'm definitely going to have him on because he's blowing my mind every single time as well. I've only been studying this for, I'd say a really deep study is probably about the last 4 to 5 years. But again, our job is to stay grounded and get into a relationship with your higher power. Start growing your food. Even if you're in an apartment complex, you can grow a little box of potatoes. So, you just learn how to do it. There's so many ways to do it online. There's so many videos, but we have so much information. Anything lastly you want to share, Desert, before we do a
well,
call in and
mhm. Yeah, the
anything?
people running our world claim the power of the sun, and so we see things one way, and they see things another way. So remember, you were calling out the chief for treason, right? On your last TV thing. And and so that's how we would perceive it, right? But that's not how they perceive it. There is no treason because this is slave management. They're managing the plantation, and they're cashing in the chips now. They're cashing in those certificates, and by annihilating the life on our planet. And so they got the power of the sun. They can get away with whatever they want to do, and it's written. In other words, you can follow the patterns. You can know where we're going, and they control all the technologies, right? Pharmaceuticals, entertainment, politics, the armies, the religion, the translations. They are full control of everything, and that's why I say, that there's nothing going to stop. In other words, the great metaphor would be the tide is coming in. Show me where you can hold back the tide. You can't do it. You see, so
Mhm.
the most important thing is to be informed, to know the enemy, and to know yourself, and then to know the one who made all things, because the one who made all things is the sovereign. And so there's no better sovereignty than being one with the sovereign and making that connection and serving your fellow man, and being there for the positive light that we're supposed to be, the original intent. But there had to be the antithesis. And so they are the scapegoat. The wicked are the scapegoat. They're not going back to the light. They're going to drift endlessly through space without a body. And it's not going to be very pleasant for them. So I feel sorry for them.
And if you're wondering why, why did this happen is because of free will. Because we do have free
Yeah.
will here in this plane, in this dimension, in this planet. This is and so if you have free will, you have to have a polarity of good and evil to have free will. So you get to choose. What have I said in my past videos? Everything is choice. Everything is choice. So you can choose to look at this video and be afraid and have that go, or you can choose to look at this video and feel, wow, now I finally get the madness of this world. Why, there's a whole reason why the transgender thing is going on, which we're not going to get into. And I will be showing different things about how they show us what's happening. In 2019 at the Olympics, I think it was 2019, there was actually a thing on hospital beds and things, but right before the thing that happened in 2020. So I'll be doing a video on that later. But anyway, empower yourself. Don't be afraid. Create a new relationship with a higher power, or a stronger relationship with your higher power. So Desert, thank you so much. Let's do a quick prayer, and I
Okay.
call in what it is that we want, and also inner strength and courage right now.
Mm-hmm.
Great Spirit, infinite intelligence of all things, you are really running the show here, and you have given us the opportunity to create a relationship with you, Great Spirit. And I'm so grateful for that, because when I feel the love, how much love you have for us, that the sun actually shines for us. The soil is growing our plants from a little tiny, tiny seed into something that actually nourishes our bodies that we can consume and gives us light and energy and vitality and health. And I'm so grateful for the opportunity, Great Spirit, to be on this planet at this time in history, to know the truth and to share the truth with all people who are ready to hear it. And Great Spirit, I just know that you are sending courage to every single soul, every single living man and living woman who hears this message. You are sending them inner strength to tell them they are not alone. Have never been alone. And you, Great Spirit, are giving us that courage to take a step forward every single day to do what is our kuleana, what is ours to do what we are inspired through you, Great Spirit, to do. You are always inspiring us to know how much we are truly, truly taken care of, that you are always taking care of us in ways we know and in ways that we don't know. And Great Spirit, I am excited to see and watch as things unfold for the removal of these dark entities from the planet, of seeing this planet as a peaceful place of light and of love and of harmony and of unity for all living men and women around the planet. Great Spirit, I just see this world at peace, that we are all, that there's one heartbeat of humanity, one heartbeat beating, pulsing a frequency of light and of love out into the galactic field, letting all beings know that this world is free, that we are sovereign, that we are at peace, that we are in harmony with each other and with the Aina, with the land, with the earth. And together, Great Spirit, together, we know that we are making this world a better place through you, through this frequency of love that you constantly send to us all of the time. Mahalo so much, Great Spirit, and so much gratitude to all the light and the spirit guides and the angels that are always surrounding us and supporting us throughout our journey. Thank you so much to all the people who are standing for truth and for freedom. And I just know that Desert is totally protected and totally guided and totally supported in ways he knows and in ways he doesn't know. I know that he is always, always, always taken care of. Thank you so much, Great Spirit. And so it is. Desert, so much mahalo to you. I can't tell you how much this means to me. Really
Uh,
grateful for
it
you.
means as much to me, I guarantee you. I've
All
got
right.
after you dedicate your life to studying all this stuff, not to have an outlet, to share it is death. And like I say, my phone doesn't ring off the hook. They hear about this guy and either they run the other way because or my classic statement is the more I learn, the less people want to talk to me because it's deep. The ocean is deep, and most people want to swim in the shallow waters where it's splashy and fun. But to go out in those deep waters, it's not for everyone, and it's not meant for everyone to have to you know have my journey, like climbing the mountain, being inspired, and all that. My journey was for that. Just like when I ended up waking up on a concrete slab, wondering how did I get here when I was fell victim to a government sting operation and framed for a crime I didn't commit. And it was 1998. And then I suddenly realized back to the time when I was born and lived for the first five years of my life in New Brunswick, New Jersey, and it was called 98 Right Place. How does you can't make this stuff up, right? So 98 Right Place. So that told me, wait a minute, you mean, Father, from the beginning of my life, you had pegged it so that I would be on this journey, get inspired to climb a mountain, and be willing to step on the front line and try to expose the wrongs going on in our world. Um, and yeah, I was that kind of a guide. Rather, I didn't even know what kind of car I'd own. Like if you asked me what kind of car I had, I don't know. I don't care. I'm so further up there thinking about the things that are really important because you see the world is beautiful, all of nature, everything is beautiful, we love it, but the point is that there is a greater world beyond this one that we have to ascend to, and so that's the real world, the one we want to go to, that we leave where as soon as we come here, what they say, we exist. There's the word exit in the word exist, right? You can see it. They told us as soon as you're coming, you're going, right? And so we're passing through as star travelers. That's the original word for sojourner, star traveler. And so we're just on a journey flowing, and we want to take as many people with us as we
Yes,
can.
we do.
That's what it comes down to. Okay.
Absolutely. Well, I'm going to have you on again next week because you are just every single, yeah, you amaze me. So, all right, you guys,
Yes.
please share, like, and subscribe and join my Rumble channel and join standtogetherhawaii.com. Much mahalo and aloha to all of you.
Peace and love.
Let's see here.